Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and welcome to my show, High Vibe TV, a daily show, not only just addressing the negative, but making sure that we embrace the positive. Thanks so much for being here. It is March 1st of 2018, so make sure you say rabbit, rabbit. Always brings out some good luck. And I can't even believe we're here in March already. Life is flying by, and it is a full moon, actually, today on this show. So we'll see how much I can bring to this one. We always like to start with my daily thought. And today's daily thought is friction with others. You know, it's something that comes up. I don't think it's like something that we can avoid in life, right? Like we're gonna have friction with others. And that's because whenever I look at our individual journeys, we all have our own individual destiny. And I look at it like a crazy roller coaster, right? And there's sometimes in life where other people come into our lives and we just so happen to be doing the corkscrew at the same time. But then sometimes after the corkscrew, you might go into a loop and I might be getting off the track and getting off the ride for a while. And that's okay. I think that we need to realize that sometimes that friction is that we're just not in the same alignment about things. Now, that doesn't mean we have to end things either. I think that what we have to do when we have friction with others is, first of all, always try and find a common denominator. Try and find a common understanding about things. You know, our ego tends to want something, and when it wants something, it could go to battle for it, and it could be very difficult if somebody isn't feeling the same way. And I think it's a true test of the times that we're in right now in the world to realize that friction comes more than we are used to. We're in a social media environment now where people are literally always in our face. We're getting comments all the time. We're getting instant messages. We're getting text messages. We're getting phone calls all the time. We're getting the people that I have the friction the most with are the telemarketers. Always like, yes, hi, I'd like to do that. I'm like, what? I always like take off all my energy on them. Like, I am not agreeing with you. Bam! I say some of the meanest things, actually, and I have to learn to let that go because I create friction with others. The person behind that phone might just be having just a hard as day as me, and they got to do their job. They got to get through what they got to do. And you know, one thing that I've learned from my wife, which blew not only myself but my family, is she's from Canada. And here in LA and Orange County in California, we drive fast, okay? So we're on the pedal to the metal. We put on the brakes quick. We always are turning quick. And I remember there was a car that was really slow. And we were all in the car and we were frustrated, like, about the honk the horn, like, keep it, let's go. And my wife said, you don't know if that person's on the phone with, you know, maybe their family because their mom might be in the hospital. Or maybe they're on their way to the urgent care because they're sick. And they maybe broke their leg. You don't know what the issue is. And we all looked at each other and we were like, wow. And we got humbled by it. Friction with others is usually friction because we put our own egos, we put our own self in a position that thinks that we know better or that we aren't in alignment with what that other person might feel, or we just are taking out our own energy on people. And I don't think that it's avoidable. I think that we learn a lot from these things in life. But at the same token, we have to learn, I think, at the most important spot to realize we all have our unique codes. And all codes of our DNA, our soul, and our destinies are different than everybody else's. And so it's good to own the things that you want in your life. And it's good to, you know, say and know what your boundaries are of when, no, this isn't feeling right, and it's maybe bad friction. But today I'm wanting to address the friction we create ourselves. We create friction with people because maybe we don't want to try and look for solutions. We create friction with other people because maybe we aren't willing to put down some of our own views and look at other people's views. Beliefs are a big system that comes into what happens when we have friction with others. I believe that it should look this way. I think that the room should be black. No, I think the room should be white. It's like, oh, can we find maybe a gray? Can we find gray in the middle? Or maybe we have one wall white and one wall black? You know, it's like there are these ways, and if it doesn't go that way, then you know what? it's all about sending people with that love on that space, you know? I mean, like, trust me, I've had a lot of friction with people in my life. I am definitely the first person to admit that man, I can blow it out. Woo! I could blow it out hard. But you know, at the same time, I think that this is an important moment in our lives for us to all realize when we actually have belief system issues, to realize, okay, this is my perception of it. Other people have other views. And I look at views as like satellites, with like how we all have these huge satellite views, and maybe only a satellite will cover a certain area. And then maybe I'm a satellite that covers a certain area. Imagine if we all try and find a way to come together with our views. And sure, I might know a bunch in this area, but I know that you know a bunch in that area. And when we can come together and find ways to go, okay, maybe we don't see eye to eye in this place, but I do know a lot in this space, and you know a lot in that space, and why don't we try and have those two areas come together and cover each other? Friction with others can always, like I said, be a trigger point as well for us letting off steam. Maybe has nothing to do with that person. I take it out on telemarketers all the time. So if you're a telemarketer, be careful, because I will definitely rip you a new one. But that's something that I learned in myself, and it makes me realize every time that I do that, gosh, I just took out all my crap on that person, and I feel bad. And so I think it's important for us to know our triggers of whenever we're going through some sort of friction in any relationship, whether it's love, romantic, or even the most random person in the world, or even like, you know, homeless people. I see people that are homeless and have their signs up, and I see people yelling at them or telling them to get a job, and I don't do that to those people. Not that I'm higher or mighty because I don't make fun of homeless people, but I yell at telemarketers. I mean, trust me, it doesn't make me any higher or mighty because I'm in the same boat. But, you know, it's like wherever we're at in life and wherever we start to see friction, you know, we tend to, 90% I think of all the friction with others is our own shit that we're just pushing on other people. It's us not knowing how to be happy for ourselves. You know, on my way to the studio this morning, I was literally driving, and I was feeling a little off, a little hesitant, a little anxious just about the day. I have a big day today. I'm doing a live show tonight, the first ecstatic dance in Orange County, and a 2-hour astrology talk, and I got to do this show, and we got to pack everything up, and we got to go set everything up. So today, literally, I'm working from 9 in the morning, and the show ends at 10 p.m., and then we got to come back and bring all the stuff back and set it up so I can do the show in the morning. So today's like going to be like a 14-hour day. So of course I was a little anxious about things. And I actually wasn't feeling great, and I remember being on the freeway and I'm driving. I started to actually focus on, all these awesome things about my past, all the awesome things I love about my life, and I felt better in a second. So not to say that focusing on your ego or anything like that is going to make you feel better, but loving your life for what you have, loving your life for even old memories of what you have. And when you're in a good space, you're not going to bring friction to people. I remember in that moment too, as I was on the freeway, before when I was hesitant, I was like, oh, look at this guy, he's going so slow, let me get around him, and da-da-da-da. But man, when I was in that happy space, I was like, oh, okay, pass me. I'm fine. So remember, maybe not all friction is because of the other person. Always try and find a way to see if you are the one that is projecting something on somebody else before you come to an end agreement on something. Now, this is where we move to my story of the day. So today's story actually goes to when I was in boot camp. Yes, I was in Navy boot camp. And I was actually what they called the RPOC. The RPOC was the leader. And I remember I was so scared because I was 18 years old, just joined the military, and here I am in boot camp, and it was winter, and I'm a California boy, and I've never really been in the snow, and it's freezing outside in Chicago. And my drill instructor, we actually called them, what did we call them? They weren't drill instructors. You don't call them that. We just, they called us our, whatever. It was some officer or whatever. Literally, long story short, made me the leader in the second day. Hey, I want you. And he called me pretty boy. He's like, hey, pretty boy, I want a pretty boy that leads this crew. You're in charge. I'm like, oh, man. Well, the problem about being in charge is if somebody does something wrong, I get in trouble for it, right? So it's like because I'm in charge of the whole 80 people, so if this one guy is messing up, guess what? I'm in trouble. And so I had this one guy that literally every day couldn't finish the 150 push-ups, couldn't get up on time, couldn't make himself right, couldn't spit shine his shoes right, couldn't do anything right? So of course I got the brunt of it because I'm supposed to be the one that makes him go. Now the good news was like 79 of the people were all on point, all doing their things right. So I never got kicked out of being the leader, and I finished boot camp and ended with the highest awards and literally left boot camp 3 ranks higher just because of this, okay? But I remember this one guy and the friction that I had with this guy because I was like, gosh, I just wish he would just figure it out. Oh my gosh. And I tried everything I could, but I never showed people my frustration. I always took the issue that I had with that person and I did those extra push-ups. And I was a leader and I showed people it's okay. He'll get it. He'll understand it. And you know, after about 4 weeks of this, he finally started to get it. And I never got mad at him. I told him, it's okay, man. We're going to figure this out. And he would always feel so bad, telling me, oh, man, I feel so bad that you have to do those extra push-ups. I feel so bad that you have to stay up late tonight. I feel so bad that they're making you get up. And I remember there was this one time where they literally woke me up at 3 in the morning. They took me and my staff, which literally in boot camp, they'll like assign you like a yeoman, which he deals with the schedule. And then I had like a sergeant at arms, and he deals with kind of punishment for me. So anyways, my top kind of like cabinet, we all got taken to this old barracks that was like built in like the 1800s at the beginning of this base that I was on. And it was freezing outside. And we're literally, they don't even give us time to put on our snow jackets or anything. We're like running at 3 in the morning to this place. And I get there, and my drill instructor literally was like, because this guy has been messing up so much, I'm going to have you guys all sit here until everybody wakes up at 0500. So for the next 2 hours, you're going to do push-ups and sit-ups, and I am not going to let anybody leave here until it steams up, until people are throwing up. And I remember, you know, I've never thrown up from working out, so good thing it wasn't me who threw up, it was somebody else. But literally I remember thinking, I'm going to go back and I'm going to kick. Actually, I'll just be real. I felt like I was going to kill that person. I'm like, I'm going to kill this person. This is just ridiculous. But I remember by the time that I came back and I saw this guy, and he was actually a very, I don't want to call him a weak person, but he was just like, you know, a fragile person. And he felt devastated about it. And I was like, you know, it's just in his nature. That's just who he is. Literally 2 days later, he was left out of boot camp because he had some sort of, I don't know, some sort of health issue or something. And that was the reason why he couldn't do things. And I felt good because at the end of the day, I was like, even though I wanted to kill him at one point, even though I went through so much hell and back and trying to lead him and going through all these things in my life, you know, I'm so happy that I worked with him to try and be his best because I knew there was something that was going on with him. I didn't think that he was intentionally doing things. And I think the lesson of this story is to realize that people are not, unless people are actually trying to make your life harder, you gotta give people some slack. Even when it seems like you're gonna wanna kill them, or you're gonna wanna go through something crazy with them, or you're gonna wanna yell at them. You gotta cut people some slack. You don't know where they're coming from. Because, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in the military or wherever you're at in life, you know, there's people out there who are really rough on people. You know, especially like, you know, I'm in the race community, and some people in the race community can be really harsh, like, oh my God, you didn't do it like this way, and no, and you should have done this, and you should have done that. It's like, cut them some slack. Slack is something that I think is important, but when you give away too much slack, oh, it goes too much. So where is that boundary line? And where's that boundary line with slacking off or having too much slack per se? I think that boundary line starts with if it feels intentional, and if it feels like it's against you, and if it feels like it's out to destroy you, or it's malicious, or it's not coming from the heart, or if you don't see that person's soul, because I think that this is about teaching to use your intuition to feel somebody's soul, to learn to feel somebody's energy of why something might be going the way that it is. If you can't feel that stuff, and you just feel that energy, that's where you know to cut the line. Now, this is my segment of the show where I'm here to pump you up. And today I want to pump you up about your own light code. The reason why I'm using the term light code, or I want to talk about light code, is because you have your own DNA. You have your own vibration. You have your own frequency levels that come out of you. And you've got to learn that your uniqueness is beautiful. If you start to try and let go of that uniqueness, and this goes a lot with how I was saying spreading your light and being a bright person. This is a little different though. This is about owning your quirks. Your quirks are what make you so beautiful to this earth. Every flower, even though there's a certain, type of flower out there, they all look unique and different. Just as us as humans, right? We all have the same body parts. We still have all the same things, but we all have our own quirks, our own unique look. And it's that we need to love. If we don't love our quirks, if we don't love the way that we do things, we're always going to be losing our energy and we're going to be losing our power. So today, when you look inside of yourself, find that one quirk that is the quirkiest thing that makes you the most, and own that and love that and appreciate that. Because if you can walk around with that quirk, if you can walk around knowing in yourself and going, gosh, man, I'm the facetious spiritual guy. That's me. That's my thing, is I'm over the top, really loud, and I don't care. That's my quirk. I don't know where I get all this extra energy. I don't even know, and I don't even drink caffeine. But it's my quirk. There's a lot of quirks in us that make us unique. And the world wants us to see us not for our quirks. The world wants us to fit into boxes that corporations and the world wants us to fit into, or even old society traditions and so forth. Don't fall into those traps. Don't fall into the trap of giving any of your uniqueness away. Why give that uniqueness away when it's the most beautiful part of who you are? Why give that uniqueness away when it's the one thing that makes you the most lovable? People love you for you. They don't love you for when you change. So don't ever change yourself, because if you start changing yourself, then you're going away from your own code. When you were brought down on this planet, when you were up there in the universe with God and the universe and the angels, you constructed your exact DNA. You constructed your persona. You constructed the beauty of who you are to come down here for a reason with that energy source. You don't need to be changed. You don't need to go to the body shop and change anything. You are perfect the way that you are. And today I want you to bask in the beautiful perfection, which is your imperfections. Because if you love those things that you think are imperfect in an imperfect world anyway, you'll find that the more perfection draws around you, the more perfection of love in yourself comes out more. So if you start to love those quirks, I guarantee you today, you'll find more love and happiness in your life. Now, if you want to watch my daily horoscopes every day, make sure that you check out futurelife.tv. Not only is it just me on there, but I got 11 other awesome people on there, from love and relationships, health and wellness, daily tarot, weekly tarot, love cards. Everything is on there. Lifestyle coaches. This is an awesome app. It's only $5.99 a month. That is it. And also right now, I am doing a reading sale, so you're not going to want to miss this reading sale. It's pretty awesome because I'm doing this reading sale at my website, theleoking.com. It ends on Sunday, 10% off by putting in the code GRATITUDE. Well, we'll be back in 1 second. Let's show you what Future Life TV is all about. Hi, Grandma. How are you? Oh, I'm doing good. No, I'm eating really healthy right now in my life. Lots and lots of vegetables. Yeah, and potatoes too. They're vegetables, aren't they? Yeah. No, I'm eating healthy. I feel really good. Yeah, I'm in shape too. Oh, my relationship, Grandma? Oh, it's going great. We're really connected right now. No, I mean, the love's there. She's no, lots of attention. We really have really interesting conversations too. No, yeah, don't worry about me, Grandma. It's going good. Oh, my dreams. You know, you don't have to worry about my dreams. They're always coming true. Yeah, financially, everything's going good. I've got everything I want, the job I want. Yeah, everything's going good there. Future life? What's that, Grandma? I know, I'll follow your advice. What is it? It's a new app? I'll check it out. Future life.
Future life. Wake up to your future like you've never seen before.
Well, welcome back to High Vibe TV. Thanks so much for being here. I'm your host, David Palmer, the Leo King. And this is my segment of the show where I give you my challenge of the day. Now, this is kind of a conundrum because here I was talking about friction with people and having to work things out, but how do you deal with energy vampires? Oh, man. My challenge today is, when do you know to say no and look after yourself? It's hard because we are fragile people. We are fragile beings. And there's just sometimes in our life where, you know what, we need to be able to take a moment and do what we need to do. Sometimes people will demand things from you. Oh, hey, I need this from you. Hey, can you come and do this tonight? Hey, can I do this? And you know, you got to look at your life and you got to look and you got to really go, have I reached my max? Am I at my max? Like, and is this person going to try and just take that last part of me out? Where do you set the boundary and say no? The real challenge of the day is not just so much about energy vampires, it's just about, when do you say no? No is a word that is a very hard one to say. Yes is a lot easier to say. Yes, I'll do it. There's a lot of yes people out there. And so my challenge for no people is to say yes, and my challenge for yes people is to say no. But really, I think the hardest one is no. I think that we all have a good heart. I think that we all have a good meaning. I think that we all want to do good for people and say good for people. And I think that it's very important for us to find a way to learn to say no. Especially, you know, sometimes people ask us, like, especially friendships, you know, and these are the hardest friendships, I think, are the ones that kind of demand things from you, like, well, you're not my friend unless you come to this thing. And it's like, well, maybe I'm just not in the right place today. And I'm just, no, I can't go. And if that person was still your friend, they'd still love you whether you come or not, because that's their world. Same thing goes in love and relationships, and, you know, business is a little different because if you got a job, you know, it's like you got to kind of do it, you know. But, you know, that's why they have things called sick days and vacations, you know. If you need a vacation, you take a vacation. No, I can't work for this week. I'm going to use my vacation days. Okay, the boss can't get pissed at that. So where do you say no more in your life? Because if you don't say no at the right situations in your life, the worst things are going to happen. You're going to be putting yourself in a position to where you already didn't have energy and now it's being sucked fully out of you. And you're like, oh my God, I have nothing left. You don't want to be drained. You don't want to be drained. I have to say no a lot. So I've gotten used to it, and it's the only thing that's kept me from more anxiety, panic attacks, horrible positions in my life, because, you know, I have to know where my boundary line is, what I'm able to do, and I think the best way for you to know when to say no is to have a schedule. And if it doesn't fit into your schedule and it doesn't look right, and even if you try to move it around, it just doesn't feel good, you just, you know, you say no. It's pretty simple. I know that it can feel very hard. There's some people out there that just don't know how to say no. It's very easy when people send you offers or send you, hey, you want to do this with me? Or, hey, we're doing this. Or, hey, I got this deal for you. Or, hey, you want to do this job for me? Or, hey, I got this thing for you. It's like, if it doesn't align with what you're doing, it doesn't align with your path, it doesn't align with your truth, it doesn't align with who you are, it doesn't align with your schedule, guess what? No. And you don't have to say it mean. I'm, of course, a very facetious character, so I like to say it right now like that. But usually I say, no, I got stuff to do. And you know, the shorter the better. I feel like in this world right now, the best thing I can do to help people with their challenge is try and shorten up your explanations for what you have to do in your life. You don't need to tell a story of why you're saying no. You don't have to be like, I can't because I'm doing this and then I've got this going on. And that. You don't need to give us the million excuses of anything. Why don't you just sit with, no, I can't make it. Thanks for the offer. And then move on. Now, if that person tries to keep going after you, oh yeah, why? Just be like, I can't. I don't have the time for it. Thanks so much. I got to go. I'll catch up with you in the next couple days. And if it comes after you again, it's something that my father has taught me. My father has been in the auto industry for 40 years, so he's dealt with really crazy clients. The other place that people take all their hate out is at the car dealership, trust me, when they come in for service. And that's where people get really crazy because money's involved in their car. It's their car, and they usually don't have enough money to fix it, so they're praying for a warranty or whatever. Long story short, it's called the broken record technique. Broken record. No. 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 Smile while you say no. No, I can't. It's not going to happen. No. And eventually that person will be so sick of talking to the broken record, they'll either finally leave or that's where they'll throw burning hot water on you and try and kill you. It happens, believe it or not. So I want you to know, keep your nose short. Keep your nose in a position to where you don't have to over-explain yourself. Because in this world, you shouldn't have to explain yourself for the person that you are, for the uniqueness that you are, and for the positive vibration of who you are. Align with people that understand that. Align with people who know who you are. Align with people who feel who you are. And I guarantee you, you'll be able to walk so much better through this life. You'll be able to have so much more joy in your life. And you'll be able to go into a position that you can finally start to feel free. And that's where my closing thoughts are today, is free. You can only be free if you're living in your uniqueness, you love your uniqueness, you're using your uniqueness, and you're surrounding yourself around people where you don't have to explain yourself. They know you. They feel you. They know how you are. If you put yourself in these positions, I guarantee you success. Because if you waste your time with people that are sucking from you, demanding from you, pulling from you, and asking you to change your uniqueness, you're not in alignment with not only those people in the right directions, but you're not even aligning with your true self, your true destiny, and the person in who you truly are. So I ask you on this closing thought today to align. Align with self. Align, of course, with God, and align with the right people, and I guarantee you, you cannot lose. Because it's so important to be in these alignments, and it's so important to align and know that you were born to be the person that you were, and if energies are not on that same thing, you need to look at it as just like the roller coaster. You might be getting off the ride right now, and they might be starting a ride. You might be on a loop while they're on a corkscrew. It doesn't mean that you can't come together. It just maybe means that right now we're just not on the same path or the same energies. And after trying and giving it your best, and if it's a sincere thing, it's okay to move on in life. But don't push your own negativity. Don't push your own friction, or don't create friction all because you're not in a good place. Always explain the simplest things. Don't explain everything all at once. You don't need to explain by writing a 500-page book. It's simple. Explain that, maybe you're not in a good place right now. I can't deal with it. I'll explain it to you later. People will understand. And number one, out of all things that I want to always present to you at all times is always know that God, the universe, is there for you every day. Know that if you pray, if you have your energy and you are surrounded by positive energy and you surround yourself by protection and you surround yourself and you ask God, you ask the universe for that extra bit of help, I guarantee you, you'll always be fine through every moment. Thanks so much for being part of High Vibe TV. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you being here every day. If you want to get that, of course, reading with me, sale ends on Sunday, 10% discount by putting in gratitude. And of course, don't miss us every day. Follow us, High Vibe TV. It's on Facebook. Thanks so much for all your support. Truly appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow.